We get a call into our tip line about an alleged group of thieves going around a neighborhood stealing stuff from teenagers. One dad tells us that one of those instances led to the tasing of his 16-year-old son. Reporter Vanessa Herrera is here with more on what happened. Vanessa?
Kurt, I spoke to the father today, but he wanted to keep his son's identity anonymous because he thinks the alleged crime could be gang-related.
Yeah, I always skated when I was a kid, just pushed around out front.
But this kind of skateboarding, which locals call longboarding, isn't necessarily a cheap sport.
It's definitely, I mean, it's expensive.
Especially for Brent's 16-year-old son, James. But he longboards because
whenever he's stressed, he goes out and longboards. Whenever he, wants to relax, he goes out and longboards. It's just, I mean, that's what he does.
The incident happened on August 26th at about 9 p.m.
He was actually coming home. He and a buddy had gone out and grabbed some tacos, and they were just skateboarding home.
They were within minutes of their home when
they saw a car drive by them and slow down, and so they decided they'd be safer going through a neighborhood, so they cut down off one of the main roads, Campus Park, to go into the neighborhood, and the guys, I guess, turned around and came up behind them.
When 2 of the 5 guys jumped out of the car and demanded they hand over their longboards.
My friend's son thought it was smart to just give him the board, which probably was the right decision, but my son decided to hold on to his, and so the guy approached him, and when he went to defend his board, the guy tased him.
The theft left James very shaken up.
Just the idea of being violated, having someone accost you and take something that's yours that you've worked hard for, he was pretty upset the next day.
But James and his friend weren't the only victims.
That night, when we were talking to the police, they said they thought that was the 3rd incident that night.
His hope is that the victims from Friday night can identify the suspects. But James?
He said everything's pretty much a blur from that night.
He wants to remind people to be aware of your surroundings.
And even when you feel like you're in a really safe place, you don't know.
And he has some fatherly advice for his son.
It was a taser, and it hurt, but it wasn't a knife and it wasn't a gun. And had it been, this would have been a lot uglier situation. And, we can replace stuff, we can't replace you.
And we went to Hog's Skate Shop, and one of the employees there told us that the owner of the shop actually ended up giving James a brand new longboard. But as for the suspects, they still have not been identified and arrested. For Eyewitness News, I'm Vanessa Herrera. Kurt, back to you.